To make tomato stew using fresh tomatoes, I used some fresh tomatoes, some fresh shepherd pepper, about half the size of the tomatoes, fresh onions, curry powder, garlic powder, onion powder, ginger powder, thyme, and curry. This is about all the seasoning I would be using, apart from pepper and salt, of course. My protein of choice here is oxtail. The first thing I did, because oxtail takes some time to cook, was to season it up and boil it. I seasoned with rosemary, thyme, curry powder, ginger powder, garlic powder, and some onion powder. And then I went in with fresh onions and fresh pepper. Then I seasoned with salt and added water. Oxtail normally takes slightly longer to cook, so I added a lot more water than I would have added if I was using other meat types, beef or chicken. Then I sliced the tomatoes and removed the seeds from the pepper and put them in an oven at 200 degrees Celsius to drain the liquid a bit and also caramelize the pepper. I have found over time that it helps in flavor building. It improves the flavor. Once the tomato was a bit ready, I blended it and cooked it down in a pot. This is a long process. You have to do this at low heat so that the tomato will not burn. And I went in with some oil in the pot. I use a lot less oil. Went in with some oil, added thyme and curry powder. This improves flavor a lot. And then I sauteed the onion in that. After which I then poured in the slightly boiled down tomato paste and the pepper, the shepherd pepper paste. This is where the cooking takes long. It's a long and messy process with the tomato splashing out of the pot, and I had to use a splatter guard. This is me trying to cut off the fatty parts of the now grilled oxtail. So you keep turning the tomato at intervals. At this point, I swapped the splatter guard for the cover of the pot, and because everywhere was messy. The walls, the floor, everything. And you have to do this at low heat and be turning continuously so that it doesn't burn. This is the point where there is now less water and then the oil floats. I don't use a lot of oil. What I then watch out for is the tastes, because the tomato tends to be sour, and if you boil it down significantly, it stops being sour. Once I got to that point where it was no more sour, I poured in my meat stock, which is my seasoning here. And of course, I tasted it, and this is the point where you taste and find out what you need more of. Maybe is it pepper or salt or any of the other seasonings. And basically from this point on, you still boil it down a bit more while taking cover, of course, and cleaning up the kitchen in the process. It is a messy process, I must say. And yeah, at some point you see that the taste is okay and everywhere is messed up and your tomato is ready.